It was a rainy Thursday evening in New York City, the kind of night when most people stayed home, wrapped in blankets, scrolling through their phones. But inside a small, dimly lit restaurant called Marino's, the tables were filled, the chatter was soft, and the smell of roasted garlic and baked bread filled the air. Ethan, a 27-year-old waiter, rushed between tables with a practiced smile. He had been working double shifts for months, saving every penny he could, not for a vacation, not for luxury, but to pay for his younger sister's surgery. Every night, he told himself, just a little longer, Ethan. You can't give up now. He wore the same pair of worn-out shoes, the soles patched twice with glue. His shirt cuffs were frayed, and his eyes showed the exhaustion of someone who had forgotten what rest felt like. Yet he never complained. He greeted every customer with warmth, a quiet kindness that stood out in a city full of rushing souls. That night, as Ethan cleaned a freshly emptied table near the corner, the restaurant door opened. In walked an older man in a tailored black suit. No assistant, no bodyguard, no fanfare, just quiet confidence. His name was Charles Wentworth, one of the wealthiest businessmen in America, though no one in the restaurant seemed to recognize him. He sat at a corner table, away from the crowd. Ethan noticed how the man looked tired, not physically, but in a way that came from loneliness. "Good evening, sir," Ethan said, approaching with a genuine smile. "Would you like to start with some water or wine?" "Water's fine," Charles replied softly. "I'm not much of a drinker." Ethan nodded, jotting down the order. "You've come to the right place then. Our chef's special tonight might just make your day a little better." For the next hour, Ethan treated Charles like any other guest, politely, sincerely, and with a touch of humor that made the billionaire chuckle a few times. He noticed how Ethan paid attention to details, refilling water before being asked, folding napkins neatly, and asking, "Is everything perfect for you, sir?" Not as a line, but as if he truly cared. At one point, Charles asked, "You seem to enjoy your job." Ethan smiled faintly. "I enjoy people, sir. Everyone has a story. Some just need someone to listen." That answer stayed with Charles. He wasn't used to people who listened. In his world, everyone wanted something. A deal, a favor, money. But this young man only wanted to serve well. When dinner ended, Charles left a $50 tip, generous by most standards, but not life-changing. Still, as he left, he paused, watching Ethan help an older woman with her coat, smiling even though the rain outside had started pouring again. Something inside Charles stirred, something human he hadn't felt in years. The next evening, the same man returned. This time, he requested Ethan's section specifically. Over dinner, they talked about life, work, and dreams. Ethan shared, cautiously, about his sister's illness, about growing up with nothing, and how he believed kindness always came back somehow. Charles listened quietly. Then he asked, "What would you do if you didn't have to worry about money?" Ethan laughed softly. "I'd open a small cafe, a place where people could eat, talk, and just feel seen. You'd be surprised how many people eat alone every night." Charles didn't reply immediately. He just smiled, a small, knowing smile. A week later, Charles returned again. But this time, he wasn't alone. His personal assistant followed behind, carrying a folder. After dinner, Charles stood up and handed Ethan an envelope. "What's this?" Ethan asked, confused. Charles said quietly, "For your sister, and for your dream." Inside was a check. Ethan's hands shook. The amount was so large that his mind couldn't process it at first. $250,000. Enough to pay for the surgery, clear their debts, and start that cafe. Ethan stammered, "Sir, I can't accept this. I don't even know how to thank you." Charles smiled gently. "You already did. You reminded me what real people look like. You served me dinner, and in return, you served me something I'd lost long ago, humanity." Tears filled Ethan's eyes. The restaurant around him blurred. "Just promise me one thing," Charles said. "When your cafe opens, never lose that kindness. Keep serving people, not just food, but hope." A year later, a cozy cafe opened on a quiet corner of the city. The sign above the door read, "Ethan's Table, where everyone has a story." Inside, photos lined the walls, pictures of regulars, laughter, birthdays, and shared moments. Every meal came with a note on the napkin, "Be kind. Someone's day depends on it." Charles visited once, quietly sitting at a corner table. Ethan served him personally, smiling proudly. This place feels alive, Charles said softly. That's because it's built on gratitude, Ethan replied. And gratitude never dies. Charles nodded. You didn't just change your life, son. You changed mine too. They shook hands. And for a brief second, the billionaire and the waiter weren't two men from different worlds. They were two hearts that had found a way to heal each other. So the next time you meet someone, whether it's a waiter, a stranger, or a friend, remember this story. You never